The keyword for the next character is 8. And you might think, well, this is just a number. How could I have a keyword connection to a number? But there are a lot of things that come in 8s, and there are a lot of things with 8 in the name. So when we were making this order originally, I had just seen the movie Star Wars The Force Awakens. And of course, the droid in that movie is named BB-8. Hey, why not? A lot of people like Star Wars, so they'll understand this idea. So let's have our association with 8 for this particular example be BB-8. And let's go ahead and set the scene. So the pronunciation of this character is ba, which means it's the first time that we're using the A final. And of course, you're going to be outside the entrance. You just chose this set in the previous video, so it should be fresh in your mind. But again, naturally figure out what your brain does to the weather, to the environment. How hot or cold is it there? What are the details of the building? Take a look around, get a sense of it, and now bring in your actor. This is actually our second time using the B male actor, which is good news because we're deepening our relationship with that actor. However, it's the first time we're using this actor in this new environment. Now, that might not matter, but maybe it will. So take this for example. Suppose my B actor is my friend Brian from university, and my A set is the first apartment building I lived in when I was in Beijing. Now, if Brian has never been to Beijing, and suddenly he finds himself outside the entrance of my apartment building, well, that's kind of funny, right? There's going to be a different reaction to that, like, oh, I'm suddenly in China, what's going on? So it would be very interesting to see how you could make your actor and set change the scope of the script. But before we shoot the scene, let's get the props involved. All right, we've got our actor, we've got our set, we're outside the entrance, and look at this, we're using the banana and the samurai sword for the third time. And so once again, we have to think about the slight differences between the character Ren, Zhu, and Ba. Now the obvious difference here is that Ba has a space in the middle. It's very clear, and so when we make this scene, we of course are going to be in a different set with a different actor, and we're going to have a different keyword connection. But we're going to need to do something to indicate that the sword and the banana are separate in some way. And so let's get to that when we shoot the scene. All right, close your eyes if you can. Imagine yourself appearing outside the entrance of your A set, and you notice that your B male actor is trying to separate a stuck together samurai sword and banana. They're really stuck. He can't seem to get them out. Look at his facial reactions of struggle as he's trying to get them separated. He even manages to cut his hand on the samurai sword, and he's peeling the banana by accident, but they're just so stuck. He looks a little bit dejected when BB-8 rolls into frame. BB-8 from Star Wars The Force Awakens. He makes a few of his little BB-8 sounds, and then he rolls himself right under the samurai sword and the banana. A little laser comes out of his chest, and he shoots them right at the top, separating them very clearly. Scene. The key point for this lesson is a script trigger called cultural tropes. You'll notice in the previous scene, I brought in BB-8 from Star Wars. Well, Star Wars is kind of a cultural phenomenon. It's a very beloved story, and so it has a lot of fans. And the reason it has a lot of fans is because the story itself expresses meaning that we all seem to understand very well. BB-8's a cute little droid, and so we all kind of laugh thinking about him. We have emotions associated with him. And so bringing him in because he's got 8 in the name is easy. Easy association to the keyword of 8. Now, maybe you didn't see Star Wars The Force Awakens, in which case this particular example wouldn't work for you, but that doesn't mean there's no cultural tropes that could help you. They're very helpful when you're struggling with what to do next. So go ahead and move on to the next scene, and bear in mind in the future you can always use a cultural trope to aid in your script writing.